Hi Chris, good to see you.
Yeah, and you.
Great, so I think we're here today, just before we were kind of starting to film, we were talking about all sorts of things that we might talk about in this video. And kind of one of the really interesting things that came up was the idea of looking at your existing customers first, like when you go in, and we all get very excited about new leads, but actually there's often a massive opportunity in existing customers. So I think if we sort of open the conversation around how we engage with existing customers.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I think, well, one of the questions you asked me was what's the biggest problem that most companies have that I talk to, and most companies want more leads, more inquiries, more sales, and that's great, and there has to be a focus on that. But equally, the flip side of the coin is your existing clients, and actually really looking after those clients, because they can come back and you can generate more work from those clients, but also they can refer you to new clients, people that they know. So the secret of networking is not about who you talk to, it's about who they know. And it's the same with your existing clients.
So it's really interesting. We found within 500 Bike that this happened. We brought a chap in to help us with sales and marketing. We got very excited about building a prospect funnel and all these different things. And then kind of suddenly, after about 2 months, we sort of went, we're missing a big trick here with our existing customers, where we're just not engaging with them. You get them in, you do the projects with them, and I think maybe there's part of, as a business owner, that you're sort of almost scared to re-engage with your existing customer, because you think, okay, we've done a good job for them, so let's leave them there and wait till they come back. But actually just keeping that engagement going, because they're the people that really value what you do, right?
Indeed. And marketing today is about relationships. And you've got somebody there that you've dealt with before, that knows you, that hopefully is happy with your service, and you just need to keep that relationship going. Whether that's just regular conversations on email, whether that be social engagement. You can engage with your existing clients on social media, and I think a lot of people forget about that when they're doing the social media strategy. But it's about keeping those existing people there, and often if you don't talk to them, you're not front of mind, and they may have a requirement and then actually not think about you in that for that requirement. And the other thing is that quite often clients may engage a business to do one specific service and then not actually realise that actually they can do other things. So actually going back to them and letting your clients know that you can do this, this and this may well spark interest and new opportunities within your existing clients.
Because we were talking about the idea of this kind of like quarterly review you might have with your clients, and actually that's probably a marketing tool, isn't it? And you could kind of put that under the idea of a marketing budget. It's quite an interesting point you brought up with.
Well, is it sales or is it marketing? And this is where the lines really sort of blur. If you're a business that's got the luxury of account managers and that sort of infrastructure, which tends to sit under sales, then actually having that quarterly review with the client can be viewed as a sales. But equally, actually having that strategy in place, it's a great way of generating new business.
So, given all your years of experience running your own agency, I think what would really be interesting for me is to find out kind of, one of my sort of ideas is around quality versus quantity, and we were discussing this kind of idea and the idea of what that word means to you. So talk around kind of your sort of concept around sort of quality versus quantity when it comes to content, and what that kind of means and what that looks like.
Well, interestingly, the second biggest challenge that most businesses have is around content and generating enough content. We're in a digital world where content is king. What does Google index? Content. So and often people do fall in that trap of, well, let's just get anything out there. So that whole quantity angle, whereas actually, that's great, but that's like throwing mud at a wall and seeing what sticks. Really, there needs to be some sort of thought, some sort of direction, a strategy, a real purpose to what you're doing around your content. And building a content strategy for any sort of business is key. And that content strategy has to be based on a messaging strategy. It has to be based on your marketing strategy, which is based on your business strategy. So these things all sort of roll down. And I think a lot of businesses don't necessarily have those first steps clear to be able to generate consistent content, quality of content.
So quality content for you is content that's created with a plan.
It is.
Yeah, so it's not hashtag Happy Friday.
No, it's definitely not
it's
that.
It's content with a plan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's interesting. Moves us right onto kind of the idea of how you build the infrastructure around that. So, as a business owner myself, there's so many things to do. There's so many things, there's different things, and I've come into business with a certain expertise, and I brought that to the table, and now I have to learn all these new different things. And
they're changing all the time.
Exactly, yeah. So, how do we deal with the infrastructure? What do we do to kind of get things set up? So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we live in a world of what I call relentless marketing. Right? It used to be that marketing was campaign driven. All the pipelines dry next couple of months. Let's get a campaign out there. Let's get some leads in, and that tended to be the marketing function and marketing activity. Today, with digital, with the internet, you have to, and as I said before, it's about relationship building. And if you don't keep talking, being out there, and building those relationships with customers, but also with prospects, then it's very, very difficult to actually generate any sort of results. So in order to execute a relentless marketing approach, you need to have that right infrastructure. And again, within a digital world, everything is sort of connected. So yes, you need your website. Your website is key centre of a lot of your marketing activity. But you need your content to fuel that activity, to get people to really engage with you, especially people that don't know you. Hence, the quality of the content is vitally important.
There's a big angle around kind of the humanisation of content, isn't there, where actually you don't want to these sort of generic corporate messages that go out, and no one pays the blindest bit of attention to any of it because it just doesn't engage with people at a human level. And social media is called social media because it's social, and I do think that people do have to start getting braver and putting their face out there and putting their kind of personality out there to help promote the companies they work for or their own companies. So I think it's a really important kind of idea going forward, that you will need to put yourself out there.
You do need to put yourself out there, but the personality point is really important, because it's not just about the individual, it's about the brand. And every business, whether you like it or not, has got a brand. And how many businesses do we know that can actually define what their brand personality is and what their brand story is? Because it's that people engage with. So being able to get out there with those messages is vitally important.
So in terms of like kind of structuring sales and marketing teams, so within my company we brought in a chap to help us with sales and marketing. Quickly realised actually he really does need to focus on one or the other, and so then we brought someone else in to help us with marketing. And these two people have to kind of work independently, but then they have to completely cross over in lots of aspects. Marketing reaches a lot further into sales than it ever has. Sales reaches back into marketing a lot further than it ever has. How do you help your clients manage that kind of, flow of information between the two people?
Yeah, I mean, it used to be that the two functions were siloed, and actually I see that a lot even today. You have a sales team over here, and then you have a marketing team over here, and quite often they don't talk. Whereas they are part of that one process. And if you ask anybody in an organisation who's in sales and marketing, everybody should put up their hand, because everybody is in sales and marketing. They are representing the business. Even if they're at a dinner party with friends and they go, who do you work for, what do they do? You're talking about the business. You're positioning the business, and they need to know what that positioning is.
Yeah.
But the lines between sales and marketing is blurring, because a lot of what used to be sort of prospecting type work that was the domain of sales can now be done through automated marketing. You can, in a digital world, you can actually measure so much better what is working and what's not, who is engaging and who isn't, and therefore, if marketing is done properly, you can then start to pass really hot leads to the salespeople. So they're more effective. They're working on hotter leads, and it's the marketing function that does the nurturing. That part of the sales funnel, that bit in the middle, which is the nurture. And I think a lot of businesses sort of need to understand where people are in that sales funnel. Somebody downloads a PDF off your website. Quite often people think, oh well, they're in buying mode. Well, no, actually they're probably just in research mode at the moment. So how do we get them from research mode into that buying mode?
Okay, so it's really interesting. I suppose we've both got a kind of position where we come in marketing where we are really focused on return on investment. So for both of us, that's kind of an important factor in this. And I think marketing is the old adage that 50% of your marketing is wasted because you don't know. I don't think it's true anymore, because you can track a lot of stuff much more than you used to be able to. So how do you help ensure your clients get an amazing return on investment?
I think it's understanding the strategy and what you want to do, and having that really understood, and then around that strategy is you set your goals and your KPIs, your key performance indicators. So you're working out what activity you're going to do to deliver on the business goals, and that can be measured. And that can be everything from open rate on emails to click-through rates to if you're doing pay-per-click, it's how converting that to sales. If you're in an e-commerce environment, it's a lot easier to measure that than if you're in a sort of more traditional business-to-business environment, where the measure is going to be things around sort of leads and inquiries.
Brilliant. So it's been great to talk to you today, Chris. I've got one more question for you.
Go on then.
Fist bump, high five, or handshake?
High five.
High five. Thanks very much for coming in.
Cheers. Thanks a lot.